The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Late Enough with Mama J and my fabulous hostess, Miss Mama K.
Hello. Hope everything's great out there.
Absolutely. This evening, we're going to have guests as they arrive. They're running late due to traffic coming from Sarasota, but we have one gentleman, actually both of them. They're a team, and they're from the regular radio station, and they're also director and producers for some upcoming shows and movies and such. So we're going to have them on later on and discuss with them what they plan on doing as they are going to be doing their movies or politics or conspiracy theories or anything else that they'll be discussing a little bit later. And then a little bit later into the show, we're going to go ahead and get Lucas Overby on because he has decided he's going to run for Congress as a libertarian. So I hope you all will tune in, stay with us, and definitely call in if you want at 813-639-8255. We would love to hear from you all. And so, how you doing, Mama Kay?
I'm doing the best I can.
Aren't we always?
Yes.
Always, always, always.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was your day?
It's been interesting, as always.
Uh-oh, what did you do?
Oh, just doing my thing at my job.
Oh, yes, her voice might sound familiar because she could call your house.
Yes, yes.
Tell everybody what you do.
I'm an RI.
And what does that mean?
A research interviewer for Nielsen.
Ratings?
TV ratings.
TV ratings.
Yes.
So if you get that beautiful call from that person with a lovely voice that sounds very familiar, it's Mama Kay right here in the flesh. She's the one on the other line. And what is your famous line that you say to people when they get off the phone?
Well, when they do accept taking the diary, and when they've done it and they have allowed me to go through the book once they have it, and I tell them, well, Nielsen really could not do this without good people like you. So thank you very much for doing this, and you have a wonderful day today and a terrific week.
And there you have it. So when you pick up the phone and it says Nielsen, or what is it, any type of dialer that you guys use?
It's a Nielsen dialer.
It's a Nielsen
Sometimes it doesn't show any
numbers?
Yes.
God's calling you.
Yes.
When there's no number, it's just calling you. It's God calling you. And on the other line, if you hear that particular voice, it's Mama Kay. And then she can give you that positive, uplifting affirmation of being a good person.
Yes.
At any rate, I do hope that all of you understand that at the core of each of us, no matter what we're going through, we are good at the core because we are made from the same source of divinity. It's just that a lot of us have become so layered with our shadows and layered with our societal discrepancies and everything else. We forget that about us. Something I wanted to bring on topic tonight is the fact that the girls in Nigeria that got kidnapped by a madman out of a school, 300 girls got kidnapped. And so there is something major going on all over the world to try and get those young women back. And this particular he claims himself even as a madman.
I didn't even hear about that.
Oh, yes. See, I've been reading the newspapers.
Yes.
And
right.
reading the news. Well,
Very good.
listening to the news. But anyways, so this is bringing up a lot of things about women's rights, especially over in those countries, but even the women's rights here, because there's a lot of sex trafficking that's going on, even in this country, that is occurring. And some of these women, any of these females from any age, over in Nigeria, they have been kidnapped. They are being raped. They're being sold into slavery, sex slavery, no less. And they're being told that the Western education is a sin over there. And they've threatened to kill President Obama if he comes over there and does anything. I mean, there is some major, major stuff going on over in Nigeria. And when I'm reading up on this type of stuff, I'm realizing that particular man that is part of this terrorist group that's it's a rebel group over in Nigeria and everything, and all of these men that are creating this, that is to stir something up within us all to put a lot of healing energy into that area. Because this is the type of stuff that has literally been going on
for years and years,
for centuries, in different parts of the world. It doesn't matter if you're white, if you're black, if you're yellow. Women have been oppressed. Women have been beaten into submissions. Women have had situations where, just in the past 100 years, things have changed, even here in this country, about our rights and everything else. So
to vote,
to even vote. And so this is something that I encourage all of you become very aware of, and see if there's anything you can do to help these women over in Nigeria, because who's to say, if the roles were reversed and we were like a Nigerian country and they were the U.S., what would we want somebody to do for us? And that's where the oneness aspect comes in at, because when they're doing that to those women over there, they're doing that to us over here. We are reflections of one another, and we need to heal that. We need to give out a lot of love to that whole situation, especially to those men, because something deep, deep, deep down in their core has really taken over with darkness and an evil energy. And we have the power within us, with our prayers, with our thoughts, to change all that by sending that energy over there. So I think we should have an Om moment and go ahead and send that energy over that way. What do you think?
All right.
Her eyes are like really big. She's like, what? So we're going to do this. So everyone just bear with us. We're probably going to do about, we'll see how many ohms we end up doing. I'm totally being guided to do this right now. So just bear with us and just be in the moment as we ohm and ask that this healing energy is sent over to that area. 3 deep breaths if you like to join in.
Jikyo, Nomyo Horen 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 Jikyo.
Father, Mother, God, within us, through us, and all around us, send all this energy, all this love, all this forgiveness, all this healing. Send it over to Nigeria, all throughout the world, through every human being, through every male, woman, and child. Send this energy of healing and forgiveness. Help bring all of those girls back. Help this to be the beginning of a world peace beyond our acknowledgement and understanding. And so it shall be, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
So there you have it, folks. This is it was a guided demonstration of what Mama Kay and I actually do when we are called to do it. We do go, and there's specific people in our lives that we have done this for, and they have kind of told us how things have really changed
for them.
So we don't expect anything. We're not telling you that we're these people that you have us do this for you, and all of a sudden, no, it's the highest intention that's set forth for each individual's highest good, because we come from the heart, we come from the divine, and this is just something that we do as chicken and egg, mom and daughter. So at any rate, I hope you guys understood what we were doing and the purpose behind it. I would hope that none of you are offended, but you are more intrigued and interested in continuing to be a fan and to watch the show. And by golly, just go ahead and call us sometime so you can be part of the conversation. So anyways.
By all means.
Oh, I feel shifted. How about you?
Yes.
And as you can see, the Om tapestry is back this evening. This is a significant part of my life on my spiritual journey that I incorporate into my everyday life as much as possible. And so does Mama Kay.
Yes, by all means.
It's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
It's not just kind of cool. It's way cool. It's way cool. So I am an avid reader. Just to let you all know, if any of you caught my interview on Soul Talk with Jeremy McDonald, thank you very much, Jeremy. Shout out to him. I just recently heard that interview, and I realized that when he asked me the question, when I'm being interviewed, I suddenly, I kind of, I don't know, change things up a bit. It's not a usual thing for me because I'm the one always asking questions, right?
Right.
So he asked me a question about my spiritual journey. How did it start? And I totally went blank when I said, oh, well, it actually started when I started writing and everything. And then it So I wanted to speed you up on some stuff and clarify with you all. I started writing when I was about 12 years old. I started journaling because being 12 and in middle school, it was a very, very tough time. Unlike my boys, I've had boys as my children, and they've rocked it, you know? So their lives have been completely different, which is totally what I had prayed for. And thank you, God. You are doing a great job with my kids. But anyways, so when I was younger, I started writing, and I've been writing poetry and commentary and everything for a very, very long time. What led to these books was the fact that what I was writing in my young age was actually being found in all the different books that I was reading. Thus, that's what helped me be affirmed about the stuff that I knew within myself that was coming out through the writings and the poetry that I was writing at that young age. So all this information, when I ended up speaking about all the books that I was reading into, that was the portion that I accidentally left out.
Oh.
And I guess I was overwhelmed or distracted or something. But I wanted to cue you all in that I have been writing that young of an age, and you've actually witnessed it.
Oh, yes. I remember when you did the the Unheard Voices. It was even read at the church that we were going to. They even printed it up so that other people could know about it, if you remember. And it was made really, really nice. But it was about the unheard voices. And I think it does impact people. And that's why I've been a person that's really been supportive and wanting you to publish.
Uh-oh. There she is.
So...
Oh, yay! Our guests have arrived, so we're going to go on a quick commercial break.
Yes.
And suddenly magic is going to happen.
Yes.
And we're going to have 2 new people.
Yes.
So stay tuned as we go to this break.
It's practically universal. Girls discover their own beauty at a young age, and many dream of becoming models. But not every girl can be a supermodel.
Hi, my name is Maria, and from a young girl, I always wanted to be a model. But I'm only 5'2". I went through so many interviews, and they never called me back.
我一直很奇怪，为什么没有在广告上看到更多像我这样的女孩？
When I see a model that I could identify with, it's exciting. That could be me.
I don't really look like a fashion magazine model. I'm built different. I am different, but I could do this.
With fashion trends and marketing techniques changing so rapidly, there are more ways to reach audiences, but the message needs to change.
The world needs a new standard for fashion and for beauty. There's hundreds of thousands of young girls all over the world, and their dreams are to become models. But because of heights, because of size, because of all kinds of different standards, they cannot realize their dreams.
After 30 years of discovering uniquely gorgeous, poised, and self-confident girls around the world, the Fashion Hero team has found fascinating and unforgettable beauty in all shapes, colors, sizes, and personalities.
You could have the lighting right, the hair, the makeup, the clothes, everything perfect, but it's really important to capture the girl's personality.
Beautiful women and handsome men from all around the world are finding the Fashion Hero through our website, where they can create their own individual pages to showcase their talent with photos, bios, interests, career goals, with millions of other men and women through social networks like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, famous blogs, and more. The Fashion Hero visits hundreds of cities, towns, and villages across the planet to find undiscovered, atypically beautiful men and women, and to offer them opportunities to work with famous name brands.
We love it!
It's viral advertising on steroids. It's practically universal. Girls discover their own beauty at a young age, and many dream of becoming models. But not every girl can be a supermodel.
Hi, my name is Maria, and from a young girl, I always wanted to be a model. But I'm only 5'2". I went through so many interviews, and they never called me back.
我一直很奇怪，为什么没有在广告上看到更多像我这样的女孩？
When I see a model that I could identify with, it's exciting. That could be me. I don't really look like a fashion magazine model. I'm built different. I am different, but I could do this.
With fashion trends and marketing techniques changing so rapidly, there are more ways to reach audiences, but the message needs to change.
The world needs a new standard for fashion and for beauty. There's hundreds of thousands of young girls all over the world, and their dreams are to become models. But because of heights, because of size, because of all kinds of different standards, they cannot realize their dreams.
After 30 years of discovering uniquely gorgeous, poised, and self-confident girls around the world, the Fashion Hero team has found fascinating and unforgettable beauty in all shapes, colors, sizes, and personalities.
You could have the lighting right, the hair, the makeup, the clothes, everything perfect, but it's really important to capture the girl's personality.
Beautiful women and handsome men from all around the world are finding the Fashion Hero through our website, where they can create their own individual pages to showcase their talent with photos, bios, interests, career goals, with millions of other men and women through social networks like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, famous blogs, and more. The Fashion Hero visits hundreds of cities, towns, and villages across the planet to find undiscovered, atypically beautiful men and women, and to offer them opportunities to work with famous name brands.
We love it.
It's viral advertising on steroids.
Yeah,
Is it under a tree?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you see
Then
any
let's
dark
say-
clouds? Hey, look! We're back!
Hi.
Gary, you sneaky booger, you. You didn't even tell us that we were back on. But anyways, any of you, welcome back to Late Enough with Mama J. What you guys just got a taste of was regular conversation that we have while watching commercials. And what you all just saw was the fashionhero.com commercial on the internet. But if you go sign up and for the recommendation, look for Mama J. That's moi. Then you know we're connected and you know I'm believing in your dreams. At any rate, look, like magic, 2 new people appeared.
Males.
Male energy. Woo!
How you doing? I feel it.
Welcome, Gino Norman and Adam Roberts to the Late Enough with Mama J.
Hi.
Yes.
How are you? You just missed a moment with Mama J and Mama K. That was very powerful, but it's okay.
I'm sorry. We were in the middle of the Dale Mabry debacle.
Oh.
Yes.
You came down Dale Mabry? Why didn't you like take the expressway or something?
The veterans.
The veterans?
Yeah, but see, it's been so long since I've lived here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't you have
Tampa's
GPS?
Tampa's still in the same place, right?
Yeah, right.
West Coast.
Oh, well, you
Yes.
forget there's new Tampa now. This is somewhere in between Tampa. But anyways.
But we made it. Gino has run flat tires, and the bullets didn't penetrate the inside of the vehicle. So,
Oh, awesome. So, you two guys, thank you for joining us, coming all the way from Sarasota. And both of you have an interesting story to share about how you guys came to be working together in radio.
Right.
And that you were talking about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And also, you guys have been doing acting and directing and producing
a couple.
a couple of stuff here and there.
A few things, you know, stuff.
Stuff. So, which one of you would like to go first and share in your...
I think just to say chronologically correct on this, the way I wound up in radio was I went to see a friend's studio. He's a macabre film director. His entire huge warehouse is full of plastic and rubber cadavers, blood machines.
That's
fog
attractive.
machines. Yes. Right. Well, he likes to make slasher films.
Oh, cool.
And so I went to see his studio and wound up at Applebee's, or as we called, Awfulbee's.
Hey, that's my spot, man.
Right. And so I wound up meeting a group of people who had a paranormal radio show called Ghostly Pride. And I still haven't figured that one out yet. But I had told them about my background in astronomy and in physics, and they asked me to come on the show because I had, told them I'm a skeptic at heart. That's just who I am. I was the kid that would take my train set and try and take the engine out of the train set and put it in my little electric cars
to see if it would work.
To see if it would work. So,
awesome.
So that was always me. So I wound up going on their radio show, which was on Sunday afternoons, and they asked me to come back, and then they asked me to go on a paranormal investigation with them. So I wound up joining their group and joining the radio show. After the host of the Ghostly Pride radio show had kind of worn out his welcome with the general manager, the general manager asked me to stay. He said, "Oh, I love your voice. Just try a couple commercials for me." and I wound up the program director and then eventually the assistant general manager of 1280 WTMY.
Oh, fabulous. Wow. There's the radio voice.
So we were originally conservative politics.
Right.
So I was sitting there listening to Rush Limbaugh and Sean
that
Hannity
guy.
and all those people all day long. And I started my own show called On the Fence with Gino, which is literally,
You're on the fence?
There's literally a fence in the studio.
Right. In every aspect of my life, I'm on the fence with everything.
So, in other words, you cannot make a decision?
I can't join. That's my problem. I can't join. So from there, I started a paranormal show with an intern named Alejandro, who eventually joined the dark side.
Lady Gaga has a song about him.
She does. And yes, he loves it when you sing it to him.
Don't call his name, though.
Don't call his name, though. And so I started the dark side. And one day I ran into Adam.
Who's part of the dark side?
I was not. We met each other through my screenwriter, Josh Little.
Yes.
Was he little? Was he
actually, he's kind of heavy set.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Pretty heavy set guy. Pretty heavy set guy.
Yeah,
remember the
fat,
Littles, the cartoon, The Littles?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that show.
Well,
but anyways,
the odd thing is that Sarasota is such a tightly knit community, and especially the film community is very tightly knit.
Yep.
And you run into the same people everywhere. You'll run into them on the way to the bathroom and from the bathroom. And
how about in the bathroom?
Sometimes in the bathroom.
We don't look when we're in the bathroom.
Right.
We just
straight out of
the stare at the ceiling.
Stay out of the stalls.
Yeah.
And so Adam and I literally over the years have missed each other by minutes. We had never actually met face to face, but he had helped. He had co-directed. What did you do for Armed and Deadly?
Armed and Deadly, helped Andre out a little bit, second unit stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Armed and Deadly was
like
the
a
film.
director, assistant director, or something, right? Or production assistant.
No, not a production. I'm assistant. I do assistant director work, right? That's money, right? And then I direct movies, right?
Oh, cool.
I command a lot of money for that.
Right. So Armed and Deadly, we shot in Sarasota. Audrey Landers was our most famous person in the film, and
had to have a heavyweight.
Yeah, it's a girl power kind of film.
Yes,
she's out tackling the world and going after terrorists, and that film actually wound up in Redbox and Netflix.
Oh,
and China now.
In China,
China bought 15,000 copies, and then yes, I wound up meeting Adam through Josh
in China.
In China, outside of a Redbox.
We were speaking Chinese for, 45 minutes before we realized, you know what? We're both American.
I was going, oh, you Americans? You owe so much money. We're going to make you bankrupt. Which, by the way, anybody out there, if you just think that just went racist, I'm half Korean. Okay. So
yes, really.
So I wound up meeting Adam, and it's been a pair ever since, man. I mean,
I love this guy.
Fantastic co-host, fantastic friend. And fellow skeptic at heart.
He's just saying that because I bought him a White Russian last night.
Right. Yeah. So, Adam, please tell us how you got into things.
Yeah, you basically
I would
said
like to know this, man.
You basically said the whole story right there. I mean, Josh said, "Hey, because Josh sent me a link that he was on the video feed." For WTMY, and you guys were talking, and I was sitting there with our friend Anjay, who did Armed and Deadly. That's on Redbox, and he said, "I'm like, wow, that'd be kind of cool." And so I texted it back, and he's like, "Come on the show." So I was invited on the show, and I turned out to speak better than Alejandro.
Yes,
imagine
Alejandro.
that.
Yeah, Alejandro. He did not speak too very good English.
Josh calls him mushmouth.
Right, mushmouth. But I'm telling you, fantastic kid. He and Adam would always go at it on the air. I mean, shutting each other's microphones
You know
off.
what?
And stuff.
You guys were
He did that.
ornery.
He did that. You know why? Because Phil would shut his off. Phil was the godfather of the radio station at the time. He would shut Alejandro's microphone off because Alejandro had something stupid to say most of the time, right? And so Alejandro thought when he was running board that night that he'd just be funny and shut my microphone off. Well, you know what? I got wise to that. So me and Jordan cross-wired it up. So when he tried to shut my microphone off, I did like 1 with 4 and something. So anyway, so he'd shut my microphone off, shut his own off. And that was really funny.
And that was good times in the radio world.
We definitely get at each other's throats on certain topics. Like, for instance, last night we were out and about doing the social circuit, which
networking.
I hate.
He leaves the quacking to professionals.
I mean, for instance, last night Adam said, Michael's coming, and I said, with God? And I said, oh my God, I'm going to die in a meat market.
Yeah.
We were at the social on First.
In St. Pete? Because there's one in St. Pete called the Social.
Is there really?
I have to check that one out because I have to actually get out there
and be social.
But
and be social, yeah.
Adam is fantastic in the clubs.
Really?
I mean, he is.
You got some game?
He is not. He is not the wingman. He is both wings. Literally.
Really?
Yeah, I find a quiet spot at a table and I just sit.
He sits.
I'll go through my Facebook. I'll smile at some girls, But other than that, it's like, get away from me. And I mean, I don't mean that to be rude. It's just I've tried having conversations, and they don't
really go anywhere.
You end up talking to someone who goes into this. This little Pandora's box of insults to hurl back at you.
Really?
Oh, you're just mad because of my friend Lacey. That's what I can say.
Yeah, Lacey definitely got on my nerves.
And she is absolutely beautiful. We were out one.
About
3.5, 4 weeks
type of girl?
No, it's been about a month ago, right? Mm-hmm. We were out having a good time, and the next day she couldn't hang out because she was actually here in Tampa. At that trampoline place, or
Airheads.
Yeah, I think that's where it's at. Anyway, so she lands on her foot and it bends it down this way and crushes her. It breaks like 4 of the bones in her feet. So she's on crutches, right?
That's pretty impressive.
She's on crutches. She was inside for like a month straight. She's like, you know what? Screw it. I got to come out, right? So she's out. She's like, on crutches, poor girl, right? Yeah. And so, I talked to her earlier that night, and Gino walks up to her and he's like, what did you say?
I was like, ow. I looked at her cast. I said, how'd you do that? And she said, the last guy that tried to talk to me, I kicked him really hard.
That's classic.
And I just looked at her.
And you took offense at that.
I went,
what?
You took offense.
How come you took so... Are you sensitive?
Because I am a sensitive soul, yes. I am a sensitive soul. I
take everything so personally?
I don't know her. That was the thing.
Yeah, he just met her that night, so.
Right. I don't really know her yet, so I didn't know if she was serious, or if maybe she forgot who I was.
Oh, why? Because you were with her the night before.
That was actually what I said to her. I said, I came here with Adam, right?
Yeah.
There's no need for this. It's just I'm not asking you for your number, baby. Come on. So anyway, the club scene really just doesn't work for me. That's not where it works.
Well, try online dating.
That's even worse.
I agree. High five on that one.
Oh, that's a cesspool.
I've tried online. I gave up on that. Oh, yay. We do have Lucas coming in on the Skype soon, because actually part of what you guys do, you're dabbling into politics.
Yes. Oh, boy.
So we're going to have Lucas on, and he is a libertarian that's running for Congress.
Oh, no.
Or fixing to. He's getting himself prepared for. So we're going to have him join us soon on Skype. I do believe this is the first time, so you guys are dealing with something brand new.
Haven't patched anybody through Skype before, huh?
No, not me personally, everybody else.
It's nice. It's a clear call. It sounds really nicely. Yeah, like they're in the studio with us.
Oh, cool. Gary, is he there yet? Hi, Lucas.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Well, how are you?
Wow, it's like you're with us.
It's really nice.
We got some interesting video stuff going on. But anyways, so welcome to the Mama J Speak Show. Did you just lose him because he was there and now he disappeared?
There he is.
Oh, okay.
He's there.
Yay! Welcome to Late Enough with Mama J. I am getting my wires crossed in my brain. But anyways, we have Gino Roberts.
Yes, Adam and I got married on the way here.
Gino Norman and Adam Rock.
Good thing we have a libertarian.
Wow. Talk about crossed wires in my brain. Okay, anyway. Welcome. How have you been? I've been wanting you to come on my show for some time because you've been show hopping, and finally got to meet you at the Talkie Awards and everything. So what's the latest on your political journey and everything?
Well, we did officially, we qualified for the third race. We were originally not going to run, and we were actually working with Reverend Dr. Sykes, who's a Democrat, had brought me on to help him write policy for his campaign. And the Democrat leadership in the county ended up forcing him out, and in a not so pleasant fashion. So we were kind of standing right next to him when everybody found out that there wasn't going to be a Democrat in the race, and that Congressman Jolly was going to go back to D.C. unchallenged. So after a lot of talks with my family and a lot of talks with my staff and with Reverend Sykes, we decided, since our structure was still pretty much in place from the special election, that we'd get back into it so that there would in fact be a race. What we ended up getting back into was ourselves, Congressman Jolly, and a no party affiliate candidate is also running. So should be an interesting summer delving into all of that and figuring out what is going on. It took us all weekend to get the money together to qualify, so my staff is barely catching up on sleep now. But we're in the race, and we're still here.
Well, congratulations. Fantastic on doing that. What originally led you to get into the political aspect of life, being that you're actually a bit younger than a lot of the people running at this point? I can imagine, being that I've met you and your lovely wife, and I've seen your beautiful daughter and everything. What was it that drew you in? Was it something that you've always wanted to do since you were like in middle school and high school or something like that? Or has that occurred once you got into the work world and you started to see stuff going on?
I never wanted to run for office. And one piece of advice I give everybody is never go drinking with politicians. They can do that. I've always been on the not-for-profit side. I got involved with several different points of activism very young, 12, 13 years old, I started working with GSA. I got involved with marijuana reform my senior year, senior year of high school, freshman year of college. Did a whole lot with women's rights activism. I've just always been on the activist side. In 2013, the end of the year, or actually 2012, right after the presidential election, we started a not-for-profit group designed to reach out to youth, get them involved, activated, teach them how to petition, how to protest, how to write legislation, and if they're interested, how to run for local office. And my party, I've always been a libertarian. I was helping a young man run for city council in Tarpon Springs, and was up at his kickoff party, ended up having a couple of beers with the, at the time, party leadership, and left calling the girl that had helped me found Take a District, our outreach program, going, so what do you think about running for Congress? and she goes, in like 2016, 2018, I go, no, in 14. And she hung up on me. And when I got back a hold of her a couple hours later and she'd calmed down, we really went through it. Congressman Young was obviously our original, the person we were originally challenging. And even at that point was very old. And we found ourselves originally in a place where we were going to be challenging an open seat. Congressman Young decided not to run again. And subsequently, a few weeks later, he passed away. So right place, right time, which was one of the reasons I was asked to do it. Libertarian had never run for the seat before, and the party felt that now was the time to have somebody involved, and I was the person standing closest to it and had the most federal legislative experience. So we said yes and kind of took off on the journey. Doors kept opening, and we just kept saying, well, we'll keep going until somebody tells us to stop, and no one ever did. So we made it all the way to Election Day, and it was an interesting ride the first time around, and we learned a lot the last time.
So what is you? I'm all country now. What are your ultimate goals and plans for running for Congress at this point? Are you going to still be running for a libertarian viewpoint or the Democratic aspect?
We're running headlong libertarians again, and one of the reasons why Congressman Sykes said give him a raise. One of the reasons why Reverend Sykes had reached out to me is he liked the way that we presented several ideas. And one of the things that we said quite often during our outreach phase was most people that I know, most people that I've met, all want to go to the same place. They just keep arguing over how we get there, what road we take to get there. So we worked really hard to present our ideas in a way that people hadn't necessarily thought of them. So as a libertarian, I'm not a big fan of increasing the minimum wage. However, I would like everybody to have more money in their pocket. The way that we suggest doing that is just have the government take less of it. So we went and we looked and we saw that people had been working on tax reform legislation. Simplify the tax code, decrease by 5 to 10%, depending on the bracket, the amount of income tax that gets taken out. Don't have to worry, pay less at your accountant at the end of the year. I, for one, am terrible at doing my own taxes, so I end up having to pay somebody else to do them. If you were to receive more money in your paycheck every week, you could actually get more if we just took less out in taxes than if we increased the minimum wage. Proposed minimum wage increase to $10.10. If you were coming up from $7.25, you'd actually only end up getting about $1.50, $1.25 after.
Wow.
To give people more without telling businesses what to do. And we were able to present that to the Democrats and go, look, no, we want people to have more money too. Here's a different way to do it. Why don't we try it this way? And that was why we got approached by the Democrats, why we've done so well with them. I come from a more progressive background. So for me to be able to talk to, especially the Democrat side, was a whole lot easier. And obviously we're already in line with most Democrats on social issues. We basically don't want the government telling anybody what they can and cannot do with their own personal lives, as long as they don't affect other people. The Libertarian Party as a national party was the first national platform to fully endorse gay marriage. That was back in the 70s. And we were considered crazy lunatics back then. And we were the first national platform party to say that the government shouldn't tell you what you can and cannot put in your body. so long as you don't affect other people while you're doing it. If you want to go smoke pot, please be my guest. Go smoke pot. I don't care. So for me as an activist, and it's, looking at the history of my party, it's really fun to see where we've ended up. The alliances that we've been able to make on certain sides of the aisle. The Democrats, just for whatever reason, are a whole lot more open-minded to economic policy than the Republicans are to dropping religious policy. So we find ourselves more in line with the Democrats every day, especially younger Democrats. They've seen what overriding party policy has gotten them, and they're open to new ideas so long as they still get to their end goal. We've had a lot of fun and a lot of great opportunity doing it.
Wow. What do you guys think? He's pretty cool, ain't he?
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Well,
you're my first show after our 2-month break from the special, so I'm a little out of practice. You guys could probably get me with some gotcha questions.
Oh, well, you're kind of like in the shadows, and we know you're there. Are you in your secret room? He's in his Batman cave.
Oh, he just turned on the light.
There, he
Oh,
just turned on the
look.
light. Oh, wonderful. You are in the light.
Tells me that there's too little light. I don't have a production.
No, that's all right.
And you're wearing a dark color. No wonder we couldn't see you.
It's all good.
I'm the ominous voice from the dark.
Absolutely. So with Gino and Adam here, they have their viewpoints, you especially.
Well, Adam doesn't like to talk politics.
I don't.
I learned that on the air really quick.
Yeah, but
But it's okay.
it's okay. You're just libertarian because you wanna smoke pot all day, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me either. I find
neither me.
I find it really interesting that a lot of the people who do who are libertarian, they don't drink or smoke or do drugs at all.
Right.
And I find that, but they promote. They're like, if you want to, you should be allowed to,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're preaching the message, brother. I like it.
As far as my take, it's pretty obvious at this point that that no matter what we do, I was telling my friends that there are no free lunches in this life, and your grandparents and your parents tell you that for a very good reason. It's true. It's either you're going to pay less for commodity and higher in taxes, or you're going to pay higher taxes and lower money for commodities. Either way, you don't escape without paying some sort of a toll. The problem is that we've become, as a country, we've become the vending machine. We shop in the vending machine. Mm-hmm. We don't care where it comes from. We don't care who made it, who benefits from it. And and at the same time, it's killing us. It's literally it's taking the little melon scooper and just hollowing out what's in the inside, and so you have all of the everyone running around saying, well, we could fix this by taking the flux capacitor and plugging it into the digibox over here, and but the issue is that it starts at the core. And you know what I'm about to say, Adam.
Here it comes, drum roll.
Yeah, you've always you would always look at my shirt when I would start going on and on about the reserve to look for the red dot, from the reserve snipers.
Oh,
I mean, that's where our problem is. I mean, what was it? As of January 10th, 2012, $1 in my pocket cost me $23.88 in Federal Reserve interest.
What?
And then now we have this unlimited debt ceiling. So who knows what $1 in my pocket is costing me? And
oh my God.
And the joke becomes, who's going to pay it? Who's going to pay it back? Iceland had the right idea. They took all of their bankers and they put them in jail.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, they took their politicians and said,
wow,
you're going
that's
to jail.
Awesome.
Yeah. And all it took in Iceland was 30 signatures from other common citizens, and that's who's running their government now. Common people.
Well, that's where
that's
I think it should kind of go anyways, because it's the majority of us instead of the minority.
Right.
And
I don't think the country should be majority rule.
Right. Well, but that's where that's where I like the Democrats and the Libertarians, is that they tend to be more educated. Mm-hmm. They tend to be able to expound upon their ideas in a less egregious way. All right, but you have these politicians who literally live in these bubbles their entire lives. They have no idea what the common person goes through, and having to choose between gas and insurance, or
medication and
food. You know, and mm-hmm. so you know, it's no wonder that you end up with these congresswomen. You know, this one congresswoman says that we walked on Mars and we haven't been back since. I mean, honestly, she honestly believes that we've been to Mars. She even said the name Neil Armstrong, and I'm going,
I don't even believe that.
Right,
no,
right.
That wasn't Mars. Did she not realize?
So anyway, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent there, but you know that's kind of what I do. But you know, I'm all for the libertarian movement because I'm for the freedom of the individual to do what it is that makes them happy. But I also am a person who who reads the words, and it didn't say. It says the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't say the guarantee of happiness. It doesn't say the guarantee of misery, but you can at least pursue
one way or the other.
Right, and that's where I love the libertarians. I really do. But you know,
just the meeting right before I came on air was with a Bitcoin group, and the gentleman that came in to give me a brief on Bitcoin and to kind of give the campaign, we found out we can now actually accept Bitcoin as donations, which is kind of cool. Was actually wearing an End the Fed shirt. So I'm happy to see that concept is moving. One of the things that we read last time was giving ourselves a clear path to ending flipping the switch tomorrow and ending the Fed could be an absolute disaster.
Oh, it could be. Totally.
I don't want my daughter growing up in that world.
Yeah.
A full-blown audit, I'm all in favor of. I want to know exactly what's going on. I want to know exactly what we can do to start stepping back from it. I want to know exactly what we can do to not have it by the time my daughter's old enough to care. Right. So that's I'm right on page with you. I've always described myself as a pragmatist. The do everything tomorrow libertarian scares the crap out of me. I have not given up on my life that quickly yet, but a lot of the end goals are the same. There's a lot of places that I'd love to see us go. And for me, I feel that my job over the next 10 years should be to make sure that we're actually laying the groundwork. Taking too big a bite has always been the problem, for my party at least. We want everything done tomorrow. We don't want to do the steps. We don't want to do the legwork for it. So that's what we're here to do. We want to start moving ourselves in a direction, because for the last 30 plus years that we've been screaming our heads off from the mountains and not actually doing anything, if we would have been implementing policy that stepped things back instead of allowed it to roll forward, I probably wouldn't even have to run for office at this point.
Right.
But alas, we didn't, and I am, and the goal is to make it so my daughter doesn't have to.
Right. Well, my question that's coming up, because about 10 years ago, based upon a poem that I had written called The Unheard Voices, I had created the Unheard Voices of Middle Class America, and it was to be like a something with social issues, but have it for the middle class people, because what I have found is if you're part of the lower middle class, where you're just above being broke and poor, those people are usually blatantly screwed out of opportunities to go to school and have insurance and this and that. Of course, the whole insurance thing is changing up a bit with this Obamacare, and that's a totally different thing.
ACA.
But at any rate, as you go into Congress, how are there going to be any type of social things that would be able to actually help middle-class Americans, instead of always making it for the extremely welfare-bound or giving all of the opportunities for the extremely elitist rich?
You know, the best way to do that is to not make a program and actually remove the ones that we have.
Yep.
College education, for instance. The obscene amount of subsidies that have been put into place will constantly and irrevocably drive up the total cost of college. The more the government meddles and plays with something, the higher the cost will be. There is no market opportunity to drive the cost down. I'm lower middle class myself, paying for college is astronomically expensive. God, I can't wait to try to do it for my kid. Every time the government steps in and goes, this poor child needs to go to college, so we're going to pay for it. Now that institution goes, okay, well, we have X amount of income that we know we're going to receive, that they're definitely going to show up. We don't need to lower our prices. We don't need to budget any better. We know we have a fixed income that's definitely going to come in from these guys. We have a fixed income that's definitely going to come in from the super rich. And those of us that kind of fall in that weird gray area, every now and again, my parents weren't exactly sure if they were going to be able to keep the lights on, but we'd have food and the mortgage would probably get paid. And so we were rich and didn't get help, and we're too poor to afford where money had been set for what college would cost. And there was no way for people like me to affect that market because the government was involved. And same with insurance. When we went after ACA, I don't have a problem with the concept of exchanges. If they're done properly, exchanges really should drive down the cost of care, because you should have an upfront competitive landscape. The problems inside of ACA is now we've created more subsidies. We've created floors for the price. They won't get any lower. And what ACA has done is actually made worse the driving costs of care. So when we were working on it, even before the special, we, the president, we agreed with the Democrats. I think everybody should be able to afford health care. How do we do that? Insurance has been proven that it's not how you control the cost. We have three really good examples. If you want to look at different timelines into the future, you can look into the future, you can look at Canada. If you want to look a little further into the future, you can look at the UK. Even further than that, you can look at Norway. None of those systems have actually worked. They've been able to be mildly sustainable, but they have to continually increase how much they're charging. If insurance had fixed the problem, why did the expense continue to increase? Why didn't the expense freeze? Why didn't it go down? If you don't go back and remove the driving costs of what care costs, then you'll exponentially increase until 100% of your pay goes to paying for your insurance that's government provided through your taxes. What we looked at was we found the 2 or 3 biggest driving costs in care for health insurance were the government's fault. Right. So if the government really wanted to get involved in health, they should get themselves out of the way and let costs come back down and allow it so we can go back to a where your medical is what you need. You shouldn't need a $500 a month policy to go get the sniffles checked out. That's crap.
That's true.
$75 for a Tylenol, yeah.
Car accident, cool. I get that. I understand that. And as an American, I should be able to choose whether or not I need that in my life. I'd love to be able to everybody to be able to take $10 out of their pocket and go get a checkup once a month. That's where I feel like we should be, and that's where we'd like to see policy start moving.
Well, I just got one favor to ask you, man.
Yeah,
no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you want that Murcielago, don't get up there and sell out, man. I mean, because right now I'm actually contemplating, and Adam and I have been going back on this. I was offered a campaign manager position with a Republican out of Sarasota. And I'm still at this point
on the fence.
Really, I'm on the fence about it because I don't know
that fence out of the
if that's where my path is taking me. But that's all I've got to say, man. Just don't sell out, brother. Don't do it.
I'm going to say this. I make no promises. I'm a man just like any other.
Absolutely. At least you're being truthful and honest with yourself and everybody else that possibility is there. But at any rate, Lucas, thank you so much for letting us, kind of bring you in on the Late Enough with Mama J show. We really appreciate this tidbit conversation about what you're doing in politics and everything else. So I'd love for you to come in studio because it would just be better sound overall and a better view. But at any rate, I do wish you and your family and what you're doing best of luck. Mama Kay and I do send you many blessings and prayers on your journey, and we really hope that you represent to your highest good and your highest degree of consciousness as you embark upon this. and come back anytime, okay?
Well, thank you. And I promise, my wife and I have not forgotten. We will be on your show in the next month. I promise.
Okay, I'm holding that to you because now it's on air. Tell your wife we said hello, okay?
I will.
All right. Thank you, dear. Bye. So, everyone, well, y'all could have had more time with us, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, they've got Sarasota torn up right now.
Oh,
but if you want to reach us, you can find us at facebook.com/The Dark Side. That's
the
3 words.
Dark Side.
The Dark Side. And you'll see all of our little posts.
He
Adam
rants and
Roberts-
raves.
Right. Adam Roberts is also on Facebook, and that's pretty straightforward spelling.
Yep.
Yeah, Adam Roberts.
Although I was going to give you the last name, Adam, I don't know.
Happens.
Adam, I don't know.
Because I really had like a brain freeze. I'm like, crap, what was his last name? And
It's all good.
but I'm really happy that you guys did join us despite the fact the traffic, and I don't know what they're doing to the roads other than they got bored, smoked some cannabis, and hey, let's do something different. But anyways,
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Carving their initials into the pavement.
yes. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the show and you enjoyed the conversation that we had with Lucas Overby. And if you decide you'd like to vote for him, great. If you'd like to see what Gino Norman does, well, contact
if I
him.
decide to do it.
He's on the fence, and he already said he's a fence guy. And then, of course, Adam Roberts, he'll be directing and producing and doing all kinds of stuff in Sarasota. So, and there'll be guests again on other upcoming shows. Anyway, have a really good night and be safe, be blessed, and always follow your inner tuition. Take care. Bye-bye.
Namaste.
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.